Do you like ginger? Do you like glacé ginger? My mum, Olive, loves glacé ginger, so I'm going to show you how I do that today with a simple, everyday ingredient. You might not have thought of it, you might already make it, but either way, I hope you enjoy it. Hi guys, I'm Mandy from Olive's Tree, and I'm going to show you today how I make some glacé ginger out of watermelon rind. So let's have a look at what's going on. All right, so as you can see, I've got quite a fair bit chopped up in this pot, and I'm just going to pop some gloves on. And the reason I'm going to pop some gloves on is because I've got really sore hands from treatment. And you've probably noticed in the intro that my face doesn't look that flash either, but you know what? Hopefully it's doing me good, so I don't really mind, and I hope you don't mind. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how small I cut the watermelon rind. I have peeled it, taken off the dark green, and just sort of don't want it too big. It takes too long to cook and gets a bit mushier in the edges, so I just get it to that sort of size. I'm just going to pop that into my pot. And then I'll just move this board out of the way. We'll get this here. Can you see there? Hope so. Okay. Rightio. So what I do then is I get the heat going. So I'm going to turn the heat to about a medium. And what my goal here is, I want the water to start. You know, watermelon, it has a lot of water, so I want that water to start coming out. So I don't want to add any water at all into this pot. Just want the watermelon in there as it is at the moment. I've got the watermelon rind all cut up. You can see there's still some pink left on there. That's fine, but there is none of the dark green, that tough rind. And I've got this in the pot. I've got it on a medium heat, and I'm just going to leave it, and all of the water will start to come out. So what I'll do is I'll watch this, and I'll bring you back when it's time to show you the next step. Okay, so I've had this simmering for about 25-30 minutes, and I have added in 1 heaped tablespoon of dried ginger powder and 1 teaspoon of grated fresh ginger, because I like that balance between the two. And I'm so sorry I forgot to video that part, but it is in there. And I'm adding in 1 cup of sugar at the moment, and that'll dissolve really quickly. We want to get this into a nice syrup. And you know, I really possibly could have taken a little bit of the water out at that point, and I just didn't think about it really. I thought it'd be fine. Okay, so I've had a little look at this, and I'm really happy with the way it's going. I had a little look at the syrup, and I thought it was a bit watery, so I added another ½ cup of sugar, and it dissolved straight away. I'm keeping it on the stove for a bit longer. I'm just going to push it all down, and you know, this might still take another 20 minutes or so. It's just something you've got to time on the day, depending on how much moisture's in your watermelon rind, how much sugar you've got, how much you've got in your pan. It's always a little bit different, so that's something I will say. I'll set my timer for 25 minutes, and we'll come back and we'll have a little look and see exactly what's happening in 25 minutes. It should be pretty close. Alrighty, so I'm really happy with how this looks at the moment, and I'm sorry, I've got a bit of light on it now, so it doesn't look quite as dark as what it did in the earlier video shots, and it's really become quite thick and syrupy now around the poor man's ginger, mock ginger, watermelon rind, whatever you want to say. And I think now I'm actually ready to jar. So I have a sterilized jar here beside me, and I'm going to spoon it into the jar. I'm really pleased with the way this is looking, and I just love making something out of, well, kitchen waste or something we would normally throw away. It's very, very rewarding. Okay, so I've sterilised this jar and I've also rinsed the lid with some vinegar after giving it a really good wash and a rinse. So I shouldn't have any problems with this keeping in the fridge for probably the next 4 to 6 weeks. Anyway, so I've got one large jar out of this pot and I had a little bit left over, and because I did a jar of this earlier in the week when we used the other half of the watermelon, I had a bit of room in the top of that jar just through, tasting it and other people trying it, and thought we all thought it was quite really nice, and I thought, well, it's not going to hurt if I use the rest that doesn't fit in this jar in the top of the jar that I did earlier in the week. Okay, so I've just polished that down a little bit. I'm not crushing the rinds. They still have some texture about them, which I think is really important. I'm just making a little bit more room so that I don't waste any of what I've done. Okay, so I just need a little bit out of the jar that I did today. It's a little bit over full. And yes, I know I do faff and fuss a bit sometimes, but it is what it is. Okay, so I'm just topping up that second jar and I'm going to use the leftover syrup to cover the ginger that I've put into this jar today. I don't want that dry in the jar. And I've noticed that the lot I've done today is a different colour to the one I did about a week ago, and I just wonder if that's because it's been sitting a little bit longer, or did I cook it a little bit more? Did I add extra ginger and maybe didn't remember? And I do notice that every time you make this, it does look a little bit different, and I think the watermelon plays a big part in that. And just take it for what it is. It's a mock ingredient or a mock product. Alrighty, so here it is. Now, I've had this in the fridge for about 2 or 3 hours, and I think I hope you can see that the liquid around it is now a syrup, and it is absolutely beautiful. I really hope that you'll give this a go. It's just so easy. And if you love ginger like my mum Olive does, I think you'll be reasonably surprised with the end result. It's well worth the effort. And I'd love to know what you think of the recipe if you give it a go. Okay, guys, thanks for stopping by today. I've really enjoyed your company, and I look forward to seeing some comments about this recipe. So until we meet again, take care, and I hope the world's treating you more kindly. Bye for now.